welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Folks, it's our job to get the most interesting bits that we can find in sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across in this hour-long podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And we have a couple topics in the world of sports, entertainment, and odd news that we want to get to you, that we want to talk about, have some fun. On this week's episode, there is some topics, even though we are in the dog days of summer, there is some interesting news to get to. But before we get to all of that, Mikey, my friend, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I was in D.C. this weekend for a wedding.
On location.
Yeah, on location in D.C. It was a good time. I was down there for a wedding, and it was, surprisingly good weather for D.C. in the middle of August. I was a little concerned.
This weekend was really beautiful.
It was
low humidity all across the east.
It was surprisingly pleasant.
The East Coast here.
Yeah. The only time I was hot is when I was standing directly in the sun in my suit. But we were outside for cocktail hour of this wedding, and as long as I was in the shade, I was, pretty comfortable. But nice wedding in DC. And I also have been replaying, weirdly enough, the Uncharted video games.
Oh, yeah.
Because we started watching the movie.
Right.
And I could not get into it because of the differences between the games and the movie. And also, the movie was just as a movie it was tough to get into. I felt like, at least the part that I watched.
Do you remember my original review of the movie?
If you hadn't played the games, then it would be an okay movie. But having played the games, And so I'm watching this, and in the first third of the movie, we only made it about 40% of the way through because the characters were just off.
Yeah.
And not only were they off, but things felt like they were happening very suddenly and very fast, almost with no sort of pretext. Yep. I felt like sometimes. But even my girlfriend wasn't enjoying it. So instead, she's like, "Why don't you play the games for me?" And I was like, okay. I mean, I'm not going to say no to replaying the Uncharted games. Well, she's also finding those boring because, as I'm realizing, the endless gunfights aren't nearly as interesting to people watching it as they are to people playing them. So she's like, I thought it was going to be different. I'm like, you were expecting The Last of Us. And she's like, yeah, a little bit. I'm like, no, this was before The Last of Us came out from the same developer. I ruined all games by playing The Last of Us for her.
Because The Last of Us.
She's expecting this grand narrative thing. I'm like, no, it's literally Indiana Jones or Tomb Raider with a guy.
Right.
In the early games, at least. So.
Yeah. It's not until the second or the third one that they really go into a heavy story.
Yeah, the third one started, and the fourth one was basically Last of Us except Indiana Jones style.
Right.
With the really heavy emotional story beats. But I'm replaying the second one. I'm like, man, this game did not age nearly as well as I thought it would. I don't know if you've experienced the same or.
Yeah, so I came along late in Uncharted.
Oh, that's right. You played Uncharted pretty late.
I played Uncharted when it got bundled with the PlayStation 4 when that came out. So I went through all of them at once.
Right.
When it was on the PlayStation 4 bundle.
Right.
And I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great game, but I could understand if you're trying to watch it, I don't think it's a good watching experience. Because it's a lot of tedious gunfight.
Yeah.
I would almost rather you do. I think a better option for you then would be
the movies on YouTube. Probably,
watch one of those videos on YouTube where they paste together the cutscenes or something.
Yeah, I think I might switch to that for the remainder of the second game because I'll be playing and I'll be like, "There's finally story," and she's like, "Oh, okay," and she's playing on her phone. And
it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work.
Yep.
Yeah. So
fair enough.
I've been trying to do that while also playing randomly Pokemon. I'm back into Pokemon. Pokemon Arceus Legends or Pokemon Legends. I can't remember the name of it. The newest one on the Switch.
Whatever it is. Yep.
It's fun. It's the first true open world Pokemon game, which is what I always wanted as a kid. So I'm going back and reliving the childhood and with. It's all different Pokemon, though. I have no idea. I'm like, what
the hell's happening here?
I come across the entire time I'm playing this game, I'm just going, oh my god, what is that? Oh my god, what is that? Because I come across some weird blimp Pokemon.
Is it Goodyear?
I don't know what it is. A Goodyear Pokemon would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But no, it's very, very enjoyable. It's a nice game to like relax to.
Can I mention my favorite Blimp joke?
Sure.
I
didn't know you have so many Blimp jokes. You have a favorite?
Yeah, the one in Naked Gun when he's like initially talking to the love interest. I forgot what the love. It was a comedy movie. I forget. It's the love interest, and they're talking about their past history, and Leslie Nielsen's very serious, and it's like, "Yep, I lost my wife. 10 years ago. It was a very traumatic experience." And the love interest goes, "Oh, what happened?" And he goes, "Oh, it was a tragic Blimp accident." And she goes, "Oh, was it Goodyear?" And he goes, "No, it was the worst."
Okay, that's awesome. Those are some movies I have to rewatch.
Rewatch Naked Gun. There's a lot of great like
Naked Gun 2.5, and Naked Gun
33 and a third.
Yeah,
to make you think you forgot a movie or something. Yep, they're all good movies. I love Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah,
so good. Even there was another one, Wrongfully Accused. That was a good one. That was a spoof on Mission Impossible, and
he put a lot. That was that also Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah. It's great. I love those movies. I love anything with Leslie Nielsen or Rowan Atkinson. Like, I'm in. Sign me up. I'm in. So go ahead, watch those movies. I commandeered your segment. Was there anything else?
I mean, that's all I really had. I mean, what have you been up to other than watching the Naked Gun?
So, I don't want to get into sports yet. Hold me off. But I was at the Eagles preseason game on Friday.
Ooh.
That was a lot of fun.
That's always a fun time.
Yep.
Did you stay for the whole thing, or were you just a first quarter?
So
type
here we
person?
go. So it's preseason,
right?
You
didn't stick around to see the fifth stringers.
Yeah, when you get to the second half, you're not gonna see people that you know. It's
right
at that point. Meh. So around like the third quarter, we decided to leave, but like we didn't. It was still like, first off, it was a beautiful night. I don't know what happened with the weather gods here in Philadelphia, but last weekend was just great weather, low humidity. It was I was like, this is what summer should be. Like it's low humidity, low temperatures, perfect. So
what you're describing is fall.
Actually, what I'm describing is fall, not summer. Yeah, screw summer. But yeah, we were like, still like, do you still want to do something? So we walked over to Xfinity Live. We had a couple drinks. We're walking through all of Xfinity Live. They've got 5 different bars in there.
Yeah.
There's the one that the PBR lounge that has
is that the mechanical bull?
Mechanical bull. So you get to see drunk people fall off of it. That's fun. But I gotta say the thing that was a little surprising that I had a good time with was something called a silent disco, I think is what they're calling it. Silent disco.
I've seen pictures of that kind of thing. Where you just put on headphones and you like listen to music with everyone else at the same time.
It is trippy and it is actually a lot of fun. I know. I was very skeptical.
Is it though?
Yeah. So I was like, this is weird. I don't know if this is going to be a good time.
So describe. So you go to the silent disco. Do they give you headphones? Do you have your own?
They give you headphones. Yeah. It's not your own. No. It's not your own thing. No. You go. They provide the headphones for you. And they clean all the headphones because there's like a little sanitation station.
Yeah, because that'd be kind of gross if everyone's just sweaty people just like...
Yeah, especially in this post-COVID era. We can't have that. So, yeah, they have like a sanitation station that you get your headphones from and you give them back and everything. So, yeah, but literally, they give you these headphones, but like they're all wireless, but they're locked into like 3 different DJs. And like they each have a different like set that they're doing.
Okay.
So for the one that night, one was like kind of more of like a 90s feel on one of the stations. Another one was current. And then another one was like kind of more experimental techno.
Okay.
And like, it's funny too, because you can see what everybody is playing because each one of those stations lights up differently on the headphone.
That's kind of neat.
Light. Right. So like there was a portion where, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, French. I can't talk French. Fresh Prince.
The
French. Oh no!
The French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
Sorry, Orson Welles is on my mind.
This is how I become the French Prince of Bel-Air.
Sorry, Orson's trying to tug at me.
Yeah. So
Damn you, Orson! I'm trying to get through my story.
What channel was Orson on?
Yeah. Right. I mean, that would actually make sense. He started out in radio. So there you go.
The French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
Yeah, there you go. He's coming through on the radio frequency. Now, so at one point during the dance, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air came on. There we go. I said it right. And of course, that's, everybody loves that. So
Right.
instantly, all the lights turned red or whatever station it was on. So
That's pretty cool.
It's weird. You can kind of gauge which DJ is doing the best set. It's almost like a little competition.
You just watch the lights sweep through the crowd. Everybody switches over.
Yeah, but of course, if then to go back to the other extreme, everyone can listen to whichever station they think is the best, and you see the lights going crazy, and
so everybody's just kind of standing around, listening to their own headphones.
And you're dancing, but you're doing it to your own whatever channel you're listening to. And then also, if I remember correctly, the beats per minute, everybody is the same.
So all the dancing is similar.
Right.
Because you can't have a slow song, someone's like this,
Right,
and somebody
no,
else is freaking out. Yeah.
Right, yeah. No, it's not. No, all the BPMs are the same frequency or whatever it's called. I don't know.
That's really cool. I was wondering about that. I was like, how does everybody dance when somebody's listening to completely different music? But that's how you.
And it oddly works. I know. I was a skeptic. I was going in. I was like,
I am 100% skeptical. This does not sound like it would work. But I mean, you are proof positive that it did.
Yeah, I was genuinely excited. I liked it.
And where was this at? Was this at Xfinity Live?
Yeah, but this is the bar 1100 Social.
Okay.
Because there's five different bars, so you have to pick the right one to go into. That one was 1100 Social. Okay. That has the silent disco or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, I've been seeing videos of that.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I was surprised.
Okay.
So that was my venture down to South Philly this weekend.
Nice. A little bit of Eagles, a little bit of disco, a little bit of food and drink.
Yeah, and it's good too because I feel like I don't get to go down there often, or at least as often as I used to.
Right.
So whenever I get a chance, I try to head down and now with everything talking about Sixers moving out of there, it's like, oh no, don't split this up.
Yeah. Wait, was that a rumor or
No.
was that real? They're gonna jam.
In
the middle of Center City.
The Sixers want to move out of South.
But to the middle of Center City.
Yep.
That was the rumor. Where?
Somewhere near Chinatown, which sounds like a horrible idea.
What do you do? Just bulldoze blocks and blocks of buildings and just slap
if you've got enough money.
Oh, my God. All right, well, that's a completely different topic for a different time.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything more calamitous than trying to stick a major arena in the middle of Center City.
Yeah, just to make Center City even more difficult to get through in Philadelphia. But, yeah,
anyway.
We digress. That's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Now we're talking all the sports. Let's launch fully into it, folks. It is time for the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life. Sports.
In your face. Sports coming at you in your face here in this first part of the show. And we have a brief golf news update. Actually, for it being major news here, it's all happening local, actually, because the next PGA event this weekend is the BMW Championship, which is happening in Wilmington. This is actually this meeting is actually happening.
So it's right
45 minutes away from us.
Yeah, right around the corner.
Yeah, down in Delaware.
But what's happening at this meeting, though, that is so important?
Well, the PGA commissioner is assembling top officials and top golfers, including Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is actually flying out here for this. So, we might see Tiger Woods driving on 95 at some point.
Wow, you too can get into an accident with a drunk Tiger Woods.
There you go.
That's the last notable thing he did.
Every PGA's fan's dream.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Mr. Woods.
It's an honor.
It's an honor.
It's an honor to crash into
you. Your legs are just broken.
It's a real honor. So anyway, yes, they're having a meeting which is happening at the BMW Championship this week down in Wilmington Country Club. And allegedly, according to some inside information, the commissioner of the PGA is reviewing, quote, all options to combat the popularity of the new Live Tour that is being viewed as a new threat. even going so far as to including what I'm calling a nuclear option, because this, I think, destroys golf. Honestly, there is a proposal on the table because we're all waiting on this decision of Augusta. You know what? I should backtrack in case anybody hasn't been following us. We've been following this case. Golf is right now being split between the established PGA Tour and this new league called the Live Tour. The Live Tour is a backing from is a golf tour that is backing from Saudi Arabia. So they have limitless money.
They've been buying every major golfer away from PGA, basically, signing them to massive, absurd contracts.
Right, and giving them nearly guaranteed contracts. I mean, Phil Mickelson left the PGA to go to the Live Tour because this is essentially his retirement money. They're going to give him $250 million to finish his career with the Live Tour. So this is a real threat. This is a real threat that's coming after the PGA. The big question, though, comes down to the majors. It really comes down to the majors because you have these weekly events from the PGA and from the Live Tour, and that's all right. That's you make some money there and everything like that. That's fine. But the thing that everybody from casual fans to heavy-handed golf fans, it's the majors. That's really what it comes down to. We stop what we're doing to watch the majors. Obviously, one of them is the PGA Championship. PGA's in control of that. They're not going to want the Live Tour people there. That's fine. That's acceptable. The announcement that Live Tour players can't compete in the PGA came right before the U.S. Open. So the U.S. Open was kind of in this we can't really make a ruling on this because our tournament was happening literally that week. So they're fine. They got out of there probably in the best case scenario that they have a full year to make a decision on this. The British Open was the next one, which they did allow the Live Tour players to compete. But the big one is Augusta. The big one is the Masters. I hate to say it, because we have 4 majors, but the Super Bowl of golf is the Masters. That's the one that has the history, has the legacy. Everybody knows the green jacket. It's the Super Bowl of the golf world, and everybody is hinging on what will Augusta do. Because if Augusta comes out and says that Live Tour players can't play in their tournament, that is a huge win for the PGA and a huge shock to all the golfers that went to the Live Tour.
Right. It either legitimizes or delegitimizes the Live Tour and its players.
Right. And again, everybody has to remember, this is not like the NFL or the NBA. The Masters is run by Augusta Country Club. They are their own organization. It's up to them. It purely is up to them.
Right.
The PGA doesn't have anything to say about it. The Live Tour doesn't have anything to say about it. No other the R&A from Britain, they don't have anything to say about. Nobody has to say about this except Augusta Country Club. They make the decision as to who to invite into the prestigious Masters Championship. And now PGA, with this meeting this week, one of the nuclear options, I'm labeling it as the nuclear option, is they could actually issue a full-out PGA boycott if the Masters allow Live Tour players into Augusta, which I think that ruins the whole sport. That ruins all of professional golf. I mean, you're talking about a splintering between the 2 major factions. You're talking about the PGA trying to essentially take their ball and go home in such a childlike capacity. Augusta gets hurt because they don't have a full round of people competing for the Masters Championship. I mean, this is literally like the nuclear bomb goes off. Everybody gets screwed and everybody goes home unhappy. And I can't believe this is actually being, according to this inside source, this is actually being listed as a possible way to fight against the Live Tour. This is definitely unlike anything in the NFL or NBA. So, Mike, I don't know how you want to react to this story, because this is definitely unlike anything that would happen in one of your favorite leagues.
Yeah, the other leagues don't really have situations like this. But just from what you've described to me, I don't think this is going to happen because, like you said, it would negatively impact everyone. And I would wager a bet that the PGA stands to lose just as much as Augusta if they were to boycott the Masters. Like you mentioned off the show that Augusta's financials and the PGA's financials are, somewhat kept under,
Definitely Augusta's.
They're obscured a little bit.
Augusta,
So,
as a private country club, they are allowed to muddle the numbers and hide files.
Right. So it's hard to tell just how much each of these groups profits from the presence of the other. I would wager a huge sum of money. Whatever the number is, it's going to be quite large, and I don't think the PGA would want to sacrifice that, and I certainly don't think Augusta would want to lose that. So I think more than anything, the leak is more real than the possibility, meaning the leak of the information was done to try to scare tactic Augusta into
boycotting
prematurely getting rid of the Live Tour. If Augusta turns around and calls the bluff, I think we're going to see PGA versus Live at Augusta, because PGA is not just going to take their ball and go home and just not appear on 4 days of the biggest golfing event of the year and just not be a part of it. I don't see how that could happen. I don't see how the PGA, who is the premier, the only golf game in town up until the past couple of months, just decides we're going to pretend that it's not happening. Are they going to be like one of those cringy corporate things where it's like, oh, well, we have, don't worry, we have Augusta at home kind of thing,
Yeah.
It's like, Mom, Dad, can you go to Augusta? We have Augusta at home. And they put on some like rinky-dink, like, the PGA is not going to do that. They're too big. They got video games. They got branded things. They're not going to just pick up their ball and go home.
We've got Augusta at home.
No, it's not happening. And likewise, I don't think Augusta wants to ostracize the Live players, because if they're paying attention to the way the wind is blowing, there's going to be way more Live players coming up than there already are now. You're going to be going to be banning some of the best young talent in golf by disallowing the Live Tour to play.
Off the top of my head, if you ban the Live Tour players, you're talking about Phil Mickelson, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Sergio Garcia. These are big names.
These are names we hear all the time at the top of the pack. And I'm saying that as somebody who is not a golf fan, and I know these names. That's how big they are.
Yep.
They're not some rando strangers.
No.
Everybody, is going to lose out on this. That's why I think, like with most cases where huge sums of money are involved, everybody's just going to shut up and play nice because they'll have to.
Well,
and that
legitimizes
that legitimizes Live, and then PGA has to actually put out a good product.
At the end of the day,
right?
At the end of the day, this is a lot of money to boycott from, no matter what angle of this you're coming from. And then also just the historical legacy of this. I mean, this is something that's been going on for over 100 years. Are you really going to break it just because of, Saudi Arabia?
Right. What happens if you boycott Augusta?
Then the terrorists win.
Right, exactly. You're going to let the PGA, if you're any kind of patriotic, you will fight the terrorists at Augusta. Now, that is a marketing strategy. Forget about the wartime rules of golf.
Yeah.
We're going to need updated 21st century modern warfare rules of golf.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's I think, like I said, the leaks are more real than the actual threat. I think that they're trying to scare Augusta. I don't know if Augusta's going to get scared enough to, be swayed one way or another. It's just such a tricky situation because the PGA is at such a disadvantage. Really, their only move is to just not show up. What a strange game. The only winning move is not to play. Yeah, basically. PGA, it's the War Games computer.
PGA is the Whopper, the War Games computer. Yep.
And what a whopper this would be if they decide not to show up, because I think it does them more harm than anything.
No,
it's a lose-lose for them.
That's why I'm calling this the nuclear option. If this actually happens, that destroys professional golf. Period. Like
It's a lose-lose-lose. Everybody loses
Yeah,
out.
you have just a petty issue here that divides the golf world into two, which unfortunately the only thing I can think of that happened like that is something like motor racing when you had to split with NASCAR and F1. I mean, it's just that's it. It just sinks
But there's
everything.
room for both of them. They just compete on their different tracks and different,
Yeah, but I mean, you lose the enthusiasm, you lose the credibility, you lose the excitement. I mean, literally, because you have essentially these executives bickering over each other over which golfer should play where. It's such a stupid issue.
Make it like wrestling. It's the PGA versus Live. I mean, like you could.
That's what I said. It should be the WrestleMania.
Or
make it that both. Just have it. Both sides can compete.
Literally, just come together, make an agreement, make a single unified trophy, and do what the NFL did.
Yeah,
I mean, that profits. I mean, that makes the most sense for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? You generate more hype. You become a huge marketing machine and a profit center. It's just do what the NFL did. Not merge them, but like come to an agreement that you guys are going to have a title tournament between the two leagues. Whatever.
A AFL NFL championship or a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
A super putt.
Super putt. Yeah.
I don't know, something.
We'll
All I know is if I were Live, I would turn around right now and immediately sign another handful of golfers away from PGA. Like this came out that they're thinking about this, just expedite whatever contracts you're working on and just announce the next wave of signees. Because that would literally just completely suck the wind out of the PGA sails from this leak, this threat.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens during these meetings this week in Wilmington for the BMW Championship. It's literally happening 45 minutes away from us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish I could just be like, hey!
You should go down.
Yeah, I want to be part of these. I don't know why.
You should go down, just like look into the window, be like, hello, golf executives. Then buy your tax-free whatever you're buying down there in the magic land of Delaware.
Yes.
And then come back up north.
Yes. Hi, I want to be part of
come
these
back
talks.
up north. I make it sound like it's like the deep south.
Oh man, I told you the one. Did I tell you the one story when I was in New Orleans and just real quick, random? When I was in New Orleans,
I think you did, but I don't remember.
When I was in New Orleans, they have a very different idea of what the North is.
Oh yeah,
and
I remember.
I don't know. I was talking to one of the people down there at the bar, and she said something to the tune of, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Oh, I'm from Philadelphia." And she's like, "Oh yeah. I've been up north, in Kansas." I was like, "That's not north." Good try.
That's not almost.
nice attempt, but that is not the North.
I've been up north to Kansas.
Yeah, but
it's all relative. I guess.
Right, it's relative. Technically, to them, that is north.
Yeah,
but no, that's not what
That is a completely different world.
Yeah, that's not accurate. Anyway, let's get to our next segment. It's our newest segment. This is where we will tackle a topic. Wow.
Oh my God! Do you need another cup of coffee?
Yeah, I need something, man. Look, golf is about to go nuclear. I'm trying to move on with the show. It's very difficult, but we're going to try anyway with the 3-minute drill. There it is. What is the 3-minute drill topic?
All right, this week in the 3-minute drill, we have one very important news story to break for all the Philadelphia fans out there. The Philadelphia Eagles have finally traded former 2019 second-round draft pick, the amazing, the incredible J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
J-Jaw.
J-Jaw. He's been traded to the Seattle Seahawks for backup cornerback Ugo Amadi, who automatically wins on just having the better name. Ugo Amadi. Ugo. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. I'm sorry, Ugo. But yeah, so the trade finally went through. J-Jaw, he was never going to make it on this team. Drafted in the second round. They said, he can be a big red zone target. He can, catch balls thrown anywhere near him. He's got real good possession receiver. I think he only has something like 16-ish catches in 3 seasons. Nowhere near the type of production we thought we were going to see out of a second rounder. But the most important aspect of this story is that this also puts J-Jaw on the same roster as DK Metcalf, who people in Philadelphia know is constantly talked about here as going several spots after J-Jaw. Everybody here in Philadelphia says we could have taken Metcalf, and instead we ended up with J-Jaw. Now they're on the same roster, they're on the same field, and if the comparison wasn't bad enough already, now they will be on the same exact stat sheet. Rich, I don't know, what are your reactions to this move?
Well, you know,
happy, sad, indifferent, expected?
I'm kind of glad that we got rid of some dead weight here. And that's important cornerback depth for us, because sooner or later, one of our defensive backs is going to get hurt. That always happens.
Absolutely.
So it's good to have some depth there. But yeah, it's a shame that J-Jaw just couldn't work here in Philadelphia. Even switching to tight end didn't help.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was an experiment. Make him a tight end.
That's how you know your career is ending in a city.
Yep. But I did hear that the Seahawks are reverting him back to wide receiver, so maybe they do have hope for him.
You know, he could go the way of other former Eagles greats and actually turn things around in Seattle. We've seen that before from some of our players. Sometimes people just need a change of pace and a change of scenery.
Yeah, it is kind of depressing how some players just naturally do better post-Philadelphia career.
This city just destroys people.
Yeah.
Mentally, emotionally, physically.
Especially if you're not performing at what you're hyped up to be. So it wouldn't surprise me if J-Jaw goes to Seattle and actually does well, especially opposite of DK Metcalf. He'll be drawing attention. Makes sense to me. So there you go. That's what we'll be saying as Eagles fans if he actually turns into like a star.
J-Jaw is about to have a Pro Bowl season.
Yeah, coming up.
You watch. But you know where there won't be any Pro Bowlers, Rich?
What a transition.
In the land of New York, on the New York Jets. It's time for... And actually, that clip is appropriate because it's time for another one of our favorite segments. Isn't that right?
Oh, yeah. You know what? We got to talk about just everything with the New York Jets. So it's appropriate that it's going to piss us off. So why not? It's time for the old segment, What's Pissing Us Off?
And it's Alabama left and Alabama right. Come on, let me get the right stuff right. Get off stage, goddamn goofy, you know. Piss me off and jerk. Get on my nerves.
Oh, yeah. Step right up, because the New York Jets, they've been taking a beating. Just when they thought they have things settled and things are going nicely, they got to have another turn at the whooping station.
Yeah. So they've taken quite a beating recently from the Eagles specifically. You were there. You watched as quarterback Zach Wilson suffered a non-contact injury.
It wasn't even we didn't do anything.
It's not our fault.
It was a non-contact injury. He just did a weird juke that didn't land right on his knee.
But now meniscus tear, I hear.
Bone bruise and a meniscus tear. He's going to be out for 4 weeks.
So that means the Jets can only go 13-4 this season.
Oh boy, yeah, they wish.
That's how everybody's been talking about them, though. You keep bringing this up. Because
so
you follow the gambling news and you follow the fantasy news, and everyone's like really weirdly positive about the Jets. And yes, they've made some moves, but like enough to move out of the basement?
Yeah,
I think they're still sleeping on the couch in the basement.
Yeah. Before the first preseason game, I saw a lot of betting websites that were saying one of the best bets to make was Jets over 6 wins this season. I was like, what are you talking about? I would certainly not classify that as one of the good bets to make. As far as I'm concerned, the Jets are still a 3rd or 4th place team. They haven't won a division game in the COVID world.
Right. The last time they won a division game was 2019.
Yeah. So I'm going to count that as 6 losses right there. They have to face the AFC North. That's 4 losses right there. They're already at 10 losses. I don't see them going 6. And now you're telling me that Zach Wilson is hurt? And that for week 1, I can't believe it. Week 1, everyone, just get ready for the enthusiasm. The New York Jets are going to start 37-year-old Joe Flacco.
As my dad pointed out during dinner, Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And to that, I always say, so was, what was his name? Brad Johnson.
Yes.
From the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2002. There's been a lot of Super Bowl winning quarterbacks who didn't deserve to. Trent Dilfer.
Yep.
Nick
Trent Dilfer.
Foles. I mean, what?
Yep.
There's a lot of quarterbacks.
Also, I just
What?
realized the first game,
What
the
about?
Jets face the Ravens.
Oh, they're going to get stomped. Oh, Joe Flacco
Joe
gets this.
Flacco goes against the Ravens. Jeez, the NFL wrote this beautifully. If
Man.
this was a written show,
The Jets, I don't buy the positivity. I don't think they
No.
can win over 6. I don't think they can get to 7. Like, yes, you can stumble backwards.
So now, post Zach Wilson
well,
injury,
it moved now.
It moved to 5.5.
I mean,
So now
maybe
6 wins.
maybe they can struggle to a 6th win.
Right.
You can stumble ass backwards into like 3 or 4. It's really hard to lose or to win less than 3 games in the NFL. But can they get all the way up to 6? That's going to be tough. Like you pointed out, they're going to at most go 1-5 in the division.
Yeah.
And like you said, AFC North is going to be at least another 3 or 4 losses.
Yeah.
The only team they may be able to beat is maybe the Browns, depending on what happens.
Yeah.
Um,
As far as I'm concerned, there's 10 losses.
yeah.
That's 10 losses right there.
I would say somewhere between 8 and 10 losses right there. They have to win out their schedule almost.
Yeah.
To get
So-
to over 5.5.
And now you're telling me Zach Wilson's hurt. It's just great. We haven't even started the real season yet, and there's already just chaos with the Jets.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because when you look at, and this is I think what's annoying us is the fact that there's so much positivity around the Jets because we don't understand where it's coming from. I mean,
Well,
if you-
there
was right
before
Before-
Friday night.
yeah.
That eventful Friday night at the Link.
But like when you look at their division, do you like the Patriots, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Jets?
Well, but before we get to that, do you want to? I know this is the part that gets you.
So this is the part that really gets me there. So
here's
take
more positivity.
all this into account and use it as context for their slogan for the upcoming season. Every team kind of has like a gimmick, you know?
They have a slogan for every season.
Right. And this year, the Jets went with, so it's all gas, no brakes. AGNB. Agnib. Because
they're actually putting AGNB
it's an
on.
acronym.
They're putting that on the merchandising this year.
Right.
If you get like a sweatshirt,
they're not spelling it out. They're just using an acronym, and it
Yeah.
doesn't make a word.
If
It
you're
doesn't even make a sound.
Agnib.
Agnib.
Yeah.
Yeah, go Jets. Agnib.
Yeah.
But all gas, no brakes. It is so cringy. It is so painful. We were texting, and I'm like, literally anything to do with an airplane, soaring higher, taking off, flying to new heights, literally anything
Yeah.
that talks about flying and ascension and
Would make sense.
moving upward. Nope, all gas, no brakes. They're going with the car motif.
Yeah.
Like
Wrong
your name
vehicle.
isn't the Jets.
Wrong vehicle. Nice try. Nice try, New York. Wrong vehicle. Yeah.
I mean, I guess airplanes use gas or fuel. I guess they have brakes, but like, no.
Also,
just no.
if that was the case, then how do you refuel? How do you pick up passengers? If there's no
well,
brakes.
no, remember all gas. They don't need new gas. They have all the gas.
Oh, they have all the gas
time.
already.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's just my thing is it's peak corporate cringe.
Yeah.
Like this is something that comes out in one of those like corporate
Yeah.
blast emails.
Synergy is being
Right.
improved. We're all gas, no brakes here at Company Incorporate.
Right. Company Incorporated. It's exactly what they sent out internally.
All
But it's
gas, no
just-
brakes.
It's just so cringy.
Yeah. And why is it an acronym? That doesn't mean anything.
That's the thing that really pisses me off.
Agnib.
Agnib.
Like, maybe if it spelled a word or something, all right, then I
It's
could
not
see a
even
little bit.
It's not even a catchy set of letters. AGNB. It doesn't like bounce. There's no vowel, so there's no like
The vowel's in the very beginning.
yeah. Oh yeah, there's a vowel. I forgot A is a vowel.
Whoops.
But you have 3 consonants and it creates this very harsh sound. AGNB.
Agnib.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
not good. It's bad. The Jets are bad. The slogan is bad. The season is bad.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
Just why are you even trying? Just
I guess they
lose.
have to try.
No, just
maybe.
lose. This isn't going to go anywhere. Let's be honest. Come on.
You know my opinion. It's either you make the playoffs or you tank. There's nothing in between. If you're going to stagger to 5 or 6 wins, you might as well just lose an extra 2 or 3
Yeah,
and get that top draft pick.
The division they're in has gotten better,
Oh,
except for the Patriots.
Even still, it's still the Patriots.
Yeah, and Bill Belichick will make sure that even if he has a losing season, he's going to take 2 wins from the Jets.
Right, and this is the point that I was getting at. When you look at their division, logically, there's no place for the Jets to go except the basement.
Yep.
Because the Dolphins got better. The Bills...
Dolphins got significantly better.
The Dolphins got significantly better, question mark being Tua. But the Bills are still...
Super Bowl contenders.
Super Bowl contenders. And the Patriots are just still the Patriots. They still have the best head coach of all time.
Yep.
And so when you look at those 3 teams, you really think the Jets are going to do anything but 4th place? No.
No, I don't think so either.
There's no way that you can slice it where you can say any of those teams. Now, if this is a different division, like the NFC South, maybe.
Or the NFC East.
Or the NFC East, you can make an argument, but not that division that they're in.
No. So I don't. Yeah, I didn't understand the positivity going into this season for the Jets, and now that they've lost Zach Wilson for the next 4 weeks, now everyone is feeling it because they got to start Joe Flacco, 37 years old.
Boy, oh boy,
he's going to be starting week 1.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, get ready, boy. All gas, no brakes. Oh boy, all the excitement. Joe
Straight
Flacco
to the old folks' home.
Yeah, the only gas Joe Flacco has is going to be this. Yeah, that's going to be all the gas.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, all gas, no brake. There you go. All right. I guess we got time. We're running a little bit over than I would have liked, but I do want to get to this. So we got a little bit of fan mail.
We love fan mail.
I know I don't want to sacrifice fan mail.
No,
but I guess I'm going to have to try and ask you to make it really quick because we are a little bit over here in the Sports Sampler.
Okay.
This comes from listener Rob.
Okay.
He basically, I guess he must have heard your rant, I guess, last week on Kirk Cousins.
Last week, the week before.
Yeah, whenever.
Literally every week.
Yeah.
What are you going to say, Rob? What are you going to say? I'm
He's
already annoyed. Wait,
right.
Is he against me or for me?
He is against you in this.
Oh, man. Here we go.
He says that he just wants you to hear him out on this stat that he found off of zonecoverage.com.
Okay. I'm reasonable. I will listen.
According to zonecoverage.com, in fact, let's see, Cousins was the only quarterback in the NFL last year who posted a 100-plus passer rating in all the following situations. On the road, he was a 106 passer rating. In the red zone, he was a 105 passer rating. On third down, he was a 104 passer rating. On 3rd and 10 or more, 127 passer rating. On 4th down, 116 passer rating. In the 4th quarter, 103 passer rating. And in overtime, he improved significantly at a 117 passer rating. So basically, he's saying, and Zone Coverage is saying, that Kirk Cousins has gotten significantly better in all those situations, and those are situations that head coaches look forward to because those are key situational moments in various football games. And he says that between that and a new head coach, that the tide is turning and Kirk Cousins needs to be respected, especially in a weaker NFC North division, which I would give him credit for because the Packers have gotten worse and the Bears and Lions are always... But, Mikey, what say you to Rob and Zone Coverage's argument that he has excelled in these much-touted areas?
No, I mean those are actually decent points. He excels in very specific situations. There's one area that I think that we need to circle back to, and that is his career win percentage, which is exactly 500. So you can tell me all of the individual stats. You can bring all the individual numbers to me, but if you add it up, and it equals the most average you can possibly achieve in mathematics, I still don't think it matters ultimately, because through his entire career, he's never won more than 10 games, and that was with a Vikings team that was coming off of one of its best seasons of all time.
Yeah, because that was the
Case
Casey
Keenum took that team to 13-3. Kirk Cousins comes in, a much better quarterback statistically. And they go, in 2018, they go 8-7-1, and then 10-5. And then the past 2 seasons, he has not surpassed 500. On the career, he is 59-2. Now, yes, statistically, he puts up fantastic numbers. I mean, you can go and look at his quarterback rating routinely in the hundreds. You're absolutely correct. But at the end of the day, if all you're doing is putting up numbers and you're not winning anything, it doesn't really matter in the NFL.
I guess so. To push back on it, though, I mean, these are some very, important do or die, make or break moments here. If he is doing a good job in all these events, at what point, I guess, I'm speaking on behalf of Rob here, my pushback. Right. What would be, where does the fault begin with Kirk Cousins, though? Because, I mean, he's obviously doing very well in these situations. 3rd down, 4th down, overtime, 4th quarter. I mean, at what point does the blame go on the rest of the team as opposed to Kirk Cousins?
I mean, that's a fair point. It is a team sport. I just think that, are you telling me, though? See, this is the thing that keeps in the back of my head. He took that 2017 team of the Vikings, and by all accounts, they were the same team. Why could he not replicate what Case Keenum has done? There's also been other situations where we've seen lesser quarterbacks take lesser teams further. Nick Foles, Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer, we just listed them. Eli Manning, right? Mm-hmm. So there's been lesser quarterbacks, game managers, if you will, that have taken teams further. We saw the 49ers push deep into the playoffs this past season, with game managers, right? We've seen time and time again that, Ben Roethlisberger, early in his career, game manager. I think he only threw the ball less than 20 times a game that his rookie season, something like that. And we've seen statistically very good quarterbacks not do anything. Look at Tony Romo back in the golden era of the Cowboys. Statistically, one of the best quarterbacks. I think he won one playoff game or something along those
only
lines.
One.
You can't just, that's why statistics, while it's a good thing to talk about and debate over, is not indicative of the overall success of a quarterback or a team. Now, you're right. Maybe he's a better quarterback than I give him credit for. Maybe he actually deserves more credit. But my whole argument against Kirk Cousins is that he is wildly overvalued for what he brings to the field. Mm-hmm. Because he's had weapons. In Washington, he had weapons.
But with the Vikings he's had weapons. He's now getting guaranteed money.
Exactly. I think he's wildly overvalued for what he brings. He doesn't move the needle. So Peyton Manning went to the Broncos, took a Broncos team that was trash, and won them a Super Bowl. Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers, to a team that was trash, and won them a Super Bowl. Drew Brees went to the Saints from the Chargers, coming off of a catastrophic injury, wins them a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers plays in the shadow. Now, yes, I'm cherry-picking the best quarterbacks of all time, but if you're going to get fully guaranteed money, and you're going to tell me that he's statistically one of the best, that's the category you have to compete with.
All right. So there you go. I hope that answered your query, Mr. Rob.
To give Rob credit, those are very impressive statistics, and maybe I'm a little too harsh on Kirk Cousins. I think he's overvalued, though.
All right, so there you go. The official response there. And that's also a nice reminder that if you have any questions you want to send our way, of course, tweet at the Crispy Noodle or our individual Twitter accounts, and we will take it under consideration. And if it's something that I think or Mike thinks we should respond to, we'll respond to it. So,
but thank you for the question and the topic.
There you go.
I always enjoy a little bit of interaction. And I'm still waiting for somebody to try to prove me wrong. I mean, that came close. I was worried there.
Yeah? Oh,
Yeah, I was
that got
worried.
you shaking?
Yeah. It got me shaking.
Oh,
I was like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right.
It can be done. Keep trying.
All right. So maybe keep rattling us. Keep sending those fan questions in. But when Mike is shaking in his boots, we need to take a break here on the Crispy Noodle. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. We got entertainment and the odd news coming your way. We'll be right back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 a.m, this is what you're going to get. Yeah,
That clip is already coming into play.
Yes, already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on?
I don't know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Basically, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh, my God.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're going to have to... Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then
Yeah.
Amazon can determine what medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder. I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Oh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. That was a lot of sports to get to. It was almost, sports was the main meal again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It makes sense, though, because football's coming up. So, I mean...
Everything's gearing up for football to return. Meanwhile, entertainment has kind of just been in the dog days of summer recently.
Just a little bit, but we still have a couple topics to get to. So let's officially launch into the second part of our show. It is time for the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty?
Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, entertainment entree time, and the first part of the entertainment entree is the segment where Mike is going to let you know what to keep an eye out for this weekend with movies, TV, video games, stuff like that. It is time for Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got?
All right, this week in entertainment, first up in television, we have a big week for TV with two huge franchises premiering new shows. First up on Disney Plus this week, we have She-Hulk Attorney at Law. This is flying under the radar for a lot of people, but it's a very unique concept, at least. I don't know if I'm going to check it out, but it seems unique. It follows the story of Jennifer Walters, a lawyer specializing in cases involving superhumans, who also becomes a superhero herself. But what makes this interesting is that it's bringing back some figures from the MCU past. Specifically, it's bringing back, according to the casting, Tim Roth as Abomination.
That's awesome.
That is a deep cut for the MCU.
Yeah, I love Tim Roth. Bring him back more often.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see him come back, but we're also getting, of course, more recent figures like Mark Ruffalo coming back as Bruce Banner / Smart Hulk. We have Benedict Wong as Wong, who's the Sorcerer Supreme. And we have, of course, Daredevil making an appearance in this show as well, bringing Daredevil from Netflix into the MCU fold. So pretty exciting for Marvel fans there. Go check out She-Hulk Attorney at Law coming to Disney Plus this week. Then we have, I think, one of the biggest shows of the fall coming to HBO Sunday at 9 p.m. We have House of the Dragon finally hitting prime time. I am so excited to check this show out. This takes place 200 years before the events of the original series. Tyrants are ruling the land, and they have to defend their position through fire and blood. You're following a royal family caught up in political intrigue as there's a civil war between members of the family, and each side just happens to possess dragons for their war. HBO promises somewhere in the ballpark of 17 to 20 dragons in this first season alone, and comparisons are being drawn to Succession of all TV shows. They say it's basically Succession with dragons, with the internal conflicts of this high-powered family waging war on each other.
So as someone who's not familiar with Game of Thrones, is that like important that there's 17 to 20 dragons? Or is that just like
it's just
funny stat?
It's, well, one, a funny stat, but also pretty important because the original series, a lot of it was following one character's journey to raise her dragons into war machines that she could then take over the continent with. But we're following a time period where dragons are the main weapon, and they are essentially the nuclear option of that world. If you have a dragon, you can decimate entire cities. And so basically it's basically the Cold War. It's Succession fantasy Cold War.
Okay.
Basically, if I had to pitch it in a couple of words. So go check out House of the Dragon coming to HBO this week. In video games, we have some sports games coming out. First, get ready for football season with Madden NFL 23. I don't really need to say much about it. It's
football.
Madden. You know what it is. If you
Football.
like it, football. That's right. It's coming to all major consoles and PC this week. But if football isn't your speed, maybe this will be more your type of game. Cursed to Golf. This sounds like it might be fun for you, Rich. It's coming to all major consoles and PC. You play as a golfer who meets an untimely demise as you're about to take the winning shot at an international tournament. You die, and then you have to golf your way through golf purgatory to return to life and claim your championship. Of course, it's not that easy. There's wacky obstacles, there's power-ups, there's enemies, there's characters that you meet in golf purgatory, and every run, if you go over par, it resets and you start the run again, and you have to get better and better, get more power-ups. more, unlocks to eventually beat the Purgatory Golf tournament and make it back to real life. So it seems like a really quirky, fun little golf adventure roguelite. So check it out. Curse to Golf, coming to all major consoles and PC this week as well. And that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, Mikey, thank you for that segment. And I know what I'll be downloading then this week.
There you go. Could you tell I tried to gear that segment specifically towards you?
Yeah. Very nice. I liked it. All right. Just one quick topic here in the entertainment entree for this week, and it's kind of historical, actually. And it has to do with one of our favorite movies, The Godfather, when it won a lot of awards at the 1973 Oscars ceremony. But the thing that really turned heads that year was the fact that Marlon Brando was supposed to. Well, he did win. He won the award for Best Actor for Godfather. But he famously declined the award.
Yep.
And
did so in spectacular fashion.
Yep, because Marlon Brando, if he was going to do something like this, he had to make a statement with it.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, you can look up the video of this event, but it's pretty historic when it comes to Oscar ceremonies. But Marlon Brando declined his award and instead sent up in his place a young 26-year-old Native American actress by the name of Sacheen Littlefeather. She took the stage in place of Marlon Brando, specifically to decline his award and to protest against the treatment and representation of Native Americans in film and television. And so that's what she did. She took the stage. Marlon Brando told her not to touch the statuette. The producers told her, if you run over your 60 seconds, you will be arrested.
Yep.
So before she even takes the stage already, you can tell that her message is based in reality because definitely, threatening somebody with being arrested for going 61 seconds, that's awful. So she gets up there and she delivers her short statement, but then immediately met with boos and jeering and,
she got death threats.
Death threats. Apparently, according to her account, John Wayne had to be restrained.
Yeah,
because
what was John Wayne gonna do? Yeah,
he was going to attack
slap
her. Apparently.
Like, what? Yeah, what is John Wayne gonna do?
Who knows? But she faced so much ridicule, and this poor 26-year-old woman just getting booed off stage. It's a huge dark mark on the Academy's history. But recently,
but not the first time of abuse at the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Dear God.
It's and it speaks to a much larger issue that Hollywood has, but they're taking very, very small steps because the Academy has officially apologized now, 50 years later, for the events that took place. They issued a formal apology statement. They're also inviting Littlefeather to an evening of reflection at the Academy Museum. It's going to be a whole event about this. And they issued the following statement, the formal apology from then Academy President David Rubin. Quote, the abuse you endured because of this statement was unwarranted and unjustified. The emotional burden you have lived through and the cost to your own career in our industry are irreparable. For too long, the courage you showed has been unacknowledged. For this, we offer both our deepest apologies and our sincere admiration, end quote. So I don't know. What's just your general take on this situation? It seems pretty cut and dry, but 50 years is this
better late than never? I don't know.
Better late than never, or too little, too late. I guess it's better that they said anything or something. Finally, you know.
But yeah, I'll tell you what. Just reading over this story, it really is weird. Just the level of hate that this lady got.
Yeah. She didn't do anything.
Yeah, all she did was show up, read the statement, and decline the award on behalf of Marlon Brando. And you would have thought she took a dump on the floor of the Oscars or something.
So I have the actual quote here of what she said.
Yeah.
If people are like, what did she say something inflammatory? She said, quote, Brando very regretfully cannot accept this very generous award. And the reasons for this being are the treatment of American Indians today by the film industry, at which point the audience boos her.
Well, because
Excuse
that part,
me, and on television in movie reruns.
Like that part is probably like just like the ridiculousness of like Marlon Brando sending this lady to give some weird statement to
but
decline.
she didn't say anything.
No, but I think the initial boo from the audience at that point might have been just like, "What the hell's Marlon Brando doing? Like, what the hell's happening?"
Do you think so? Because she also faced
just for that specific part. And then when she goes into it more, then read the rest.
Yeah, and then she just says, "Excuse me," and on television, in movie reruns, and also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee. And then, of course, the audience just continues to boo her off stage.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Then that is about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, clearly just awful treatment by the Academy. It's such a dark, bleak mark on film history that this happened. There's plenty of them.
Yeah.
But this is, one of the most prolific ones, I think, because it's all captured on video, and it's one of the most famous scenes.
In some weird, strange way, Marlon Brando knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
because that did capture the hypocrisy of the Hollywood media.
Yeah,
in a weird, it was like out of nowhere, out of the blue, like what a way to not accept the award. But in a way, he knew what he was doing, because that showed just the weird hypocrisy behind behind the Hollywood media.
Yeah, and I would like to think that this move is genuine and it's altruistic. I think mostly it's for PR for whatever this event that they're hosting at the Academy Museum, because it took 50 years to say anything.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the Academy, the Oscars, hashtag Oscars so white. We're talking about representation that still is an issue. Back when The Lone Ranger came out from Disney, about, what was it, like 10 so years ago, they cast Johnny Depp in the place of a Native American. I mean, it's not like this hasn't continued to be an issue for 50 years. It's been an issue for all 50 of those years in between the initial event and today.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd like to think this is, truly a step in the right direction. Part of me, the cynical part of me, thinks the Academy is doing it for publicity and PR. But to her credit, Littlefeather talked about how, she's excited for this, and that she didn't think she'd ever get an apology, and that, she's viewing it very positively. And she said that, in regard to some of the more recent shows that have come out on television, like Reservation Dogs and War Pony, that at least there is some representation and some media that is showing Native American communities. So she's taking it with a very positive view. So I guess that's all we can do as well.
Yeah. And someone go piss on John Wayne's grave.
Yeah, what were you going to do?
Yeah, what, you gonna slap her?
You're gonna stand up and punch a Native American for what? The United States? What the hell?
Yeah, that part of the story always gets me. Yeah, what was he gonna do? Just ridiculous.
So,
and yeah, she got death threats for that.
Death threats, and I mean, she went on to become a big activist. I mean, clearly, finally after 50 years, gets the ultimate goal here.
Yeah,
but
so that was I guess a nice little story here for the entertainment entree.
Feel good story.
Yeah.
Right before we head into the next segment, which is the opposite of a feel good story.
Well, I mean, it depends on what the story exactly is.
Well, exactly.
Right. So, without further ado, it's the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda de bastata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo, odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story, keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. That means I don't know what's about to happen, you guys don't know what's about to happen, and even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to, and why is it always Florida?
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's always without fail.
We're back in Florida.
Yep.
By the way, Donnie Brasco is on Netflix, and I know because I watched it the other night.
There you go. Another hot tip here.
Right, just FYI, just in case you want to know where the clip is from.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
I love that movie. I love that movie so much. Just, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but like, because I rewatched it the other night, and like, he has a part where he's like, I'm gonna get in my boat, Donnie. One day, I'm gonna buy a boat. I'm gonna go anywhere I want, north, south, east, west. It don't matter. I'm gonna get in this boat, Donnie. And it's like, what? That's not how boating works. Like, you're gonna come across land at some point.
Anywhere you want. No, anywhere.
It's not like a spaceship. Like north.
No, anywhere. He's gonna take it anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know why that line.
North,
like,
south, east,
north,
west.
south, east, west doesn't matter. I'm gonna get on this boat, Donnie. I'm gonna escape. Like, just what the hell? Whoever wrote that line? Genius. Anyway.
All right. Anyway, so there you go.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
Yeah. Anyway, back to this.
There you go. Donnie Brasco on Netflix.
Yeah.
And we have the odd news here.
Look, if Donnie Brasco is on, I'm stopping what I'm doing and I'm watching it.
Drop everything.
Right.
Stop the presses.
Yeah.
Donnie Brasco is on.
All right. So yeah, we're going to Florida in this story. Boy, this is just one of those. It's not a lot of information, but when you hear the information, you're going to be like, how is this actually possible?
Okay.
So it's one of those stories. So we're going to talk about the case of 50-year-old Carla Jefferson. She was busted Monday evening on a misdemeanor charge of placing, quote, a torrent of phone calls to the St. Petersburg Police Department and the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. A torrent of phone calls.
Okay. I'm gonna fucking kill you, motherfucker, old style.
She might have sounded like that on the phone.
A very dramatic and colorful way to describe a large number of phone calls. I like it. A torrent of phone calls. They're raining down upon their heads.
Yes. So according to the police report, she, quote, harasses, belittles, swears at, and argues with the police employees who answer her phone calls.
Okay.
They can range from having vulgar, threatening, obscene language, ones that contain extreme expletives, sexual innuendo, and belittling remarks, according to the court filing.
What?
So she's like all over the place.
Why is she calling them? Just to say these things?
Yeah, she literally is just picking up the phone, dialing the police department, and just shouting a whole bunch of just curse words and
like,
nonsense.
Hello, police, and she's like, you suck, click.
No, she's going more than that. She's going like,
well, yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, just all over the place.
And she didn't have a reason?
So she says, quote, I love playing the game. Apparently this is a game to her.
What game is this?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Oh, God.
Because I would like to... luckily, with this being a video podcast, I can now take something from the police report directly.
Right.
So if this works here, there we go. So there's her mugshot, by the way. That is Carla Jefferson right there.
Fairly normal looking for an odd news perp. She's just a person.
Yep. But the top of your screen, that is where the police actually go into some detail about what she's doing. So first off, she's calling the Emergency Communication Center of the St. Petersburg Police Department 512 times in the first part.
512 times?
Yes, 512 times.
Wait, over a span of how many days was this?
This is
Does it say?
Between the hours of 18:30 on July 2nd and 16:30 on July 3rd.
Like one day?
Yes.
Oh my God. What?
Yes, that is a lot of calls. So there's that part. We're not done yet.
Okay.
So this is obviously, I said, she calls, harasses, belittles, and swears and argues at officers that pick up the phone. At one point, they actually did send a cop car to go confront her, at which point she gave the officers the middle finger and screamed at them through her windows.
Yeah, that makes sense given what she's done already.
Yep.
Lovely.
But then, if you read further into the police report, it says that in the year so far of 2022, the police have pulled records and they have noted that she has called the St. Petersburg Police Department Communication Center, quote, in excess of 11,000 times.
No, I'm gonna fucking kill you, motherfucker, old style. She's not a Christian!
Definitely not a Christian.
Yeah.
Just block her number.
Don't make me assume my ultimate force!
Are the police allowed to block a number?
I don't know. I don't think they are.
Because if something actually happens and she... You know what? No. This falls under a new law that I'm proposing, the crying wolf law. So she calls 11,000 times.
Yes, this year.
This year. And out of 11,000 times, 0 have been actionable events.
Correct. Yeah.
Block her number. She's done. The worst... it doesn't matter if she has an actual emergency. You lost that privilege. You lost that right. 11,000 times?
Yes, this year.
Do you know how much time is taken up answering 11,000 phone calls? Like, that's so... What if people are actually having an emergency? Because I did the math here. 512 times over a 24-hour span. That's 21 times an hour.
Yep, she's just calling them up.
That's every 3 minutes.
Now,
what does she do? What does she do?
She's literally just got she's got a speed dial, and she's just hitting that over and over again.
How do you have time to breathe or eat or take a crap? Like, it's just like every
Cell
3
phones.
minutes. Cell phones, yeah.
Cell phones, yeah.
Oh, you know what? She's probably got
Bluetooth.
hands-free. She's
She's got the Bluetooth.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So you said 11,000 times?
Yeah, so I want you to do this calculation. 11,000 times for all of 2022. So I don't know.
Oh, wait.
How many
just
days?
2022 so far?
Yes. So how many days are we into 2022? I have no idea. And then take that number and then 11,000 divided by that number. So I don't know, whatever that number is.
All right, let me see if I can find...
Yeah, do math.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Do math.
Good luck.
This is difficult. Where are we? August? Shut up.
Yes, Mike, we are in August.
Okay, so we're day 2, like roughly 228.
Okay, there you go. Take 11,000 and divide it by 228.
All right, that is 48 and a quarter times per day.
Dear God,
that's so many phone calls.
What?
I
hope she has unlimited calling.
So
if that's charged by each call, her phone bill must be crazy.
So 48 and a quarter times. Now, let's do some more math. We're doing math here, kids. Let's just assume how many.
There you go. That's Mike trying to do math.
That is my brain right now. So let's assume you're awake for about 18 hours a day. You need at least 6 hours to sleep, right? Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. She might be so crazy.
You want to limit it even for, let's say 20. She's awake 20 hours a day.
Go.
She only gets 4 hours a night. All right. So she's calling about 2.5 times per waking hour. That's a lot. You know, like, that's a lot of times to call.
Yeah.
The police.
She must be just. I honestly, I think she's just really lonely at this point because she's expecting the officers to come confront her, and then quote, she loves playing this game, so she views this as a game.
Yeah, this is like entertainment to her.
Yeah, just how many times can I keep calling them?
Like literally every 20 minutes, she's calling the police. That's insane.
Yeah. In a bid to get Jefferson to cease calling, police officials sent a certified letter informing her that further abuse of the phone line would result in criminal charges. I guess that didn't stop her. Jefferson called the police so much, she actually got a second phone number to call them with.
No,
Wow.
that is too much effort. That is too much effort.
And I know who it's coming from because I backtraced it. And I know who's emailing and who's doing it. And you've been reported to the cyber police. Consequences will never be the same because you done goofed.
That's amazing.
She actually had a second phone line dedicated to this venture.
Doesn't it cost money to open up a second line?
Yes.
So we're assuming these are cell phones now because this is the 21st century. So she added.
No, these are phone lines.
A second landline. No.
Yeah.
No, but paying.
She's got second line that goes to the bathroom. She can keep doing this over and over again.
That's where you're doing your business while you're doing your business.
Yeah. What else are you going to do on the toilet?
I mean, browse social media.
No, prank call the cops.
Prank call the cops.
Constantly.
That's the best way to spend your poop time.
Yeah.
She took out a second line on her phone plan. She's paying monthly just to bother the police.
Yep.
That's insane. And she called their bluff. They're like, we're going to arrest you. She's like, no, you won't.
You won't.
You won't.
You won't.
Because this is just as much fun for you. They're like, oh, shucks. Yeah, it is.
So she was arrested and put in the county jail.
Oh, they did actually do it.
Yep. But she posted her $400 bond, so she was out of there in no time.
That's nothing.
Nope.
That's less than the extra phone line.
Yeah. Investigators say that her 11,000 and counting phone calls account for 10% of the total call volume to the St. Petersburg Police Department that so far this year.
Wow.
10%.
You know what? This is shocking for two reasons. One, that she makes up double digit percentage of all the calls.
Yeah, to this police department.
Also, the second thing that's really amazing is 11,000 calls is only 10% of what they get total. That's wild.
Yeah, so they get
that's an insane number. That's over 100,000 phone calls so far. That's crazy.
Yep.
Wow.
So
and this lady's making it harder for them.
Yes. She's just added more crap to the phone pile.
Just block her numbers.
Yeah.
Just block. Look, she has an emergency. Oh, well.
Yeah. She lost.
You shouldn't have called 11,000 times.
And I know who it's coming from because I backtraced it. And I know who's emailing and who's doing it. And you've been reported to the cyber police. Consequences will never be the same because you done goofed.
So there you go. I think that's the first time that actually had a direct correlation with the story, that sound clip.
Yeah.
Because the police did backtrace it.
They did.
I guess they were cyber police at that point. Or landline police, or however she did it.
Landline police.
Yeah. But there you go. That is the true story there of Carla Jefferson. And of course, another thing I didn't mention, she's 50.
I like to kick, stretch, and kick. I'm 50. 50 years old.
I like to call, and call the police.
I like to kick, stretch, and kick. I'm 50. 50 years old.
That should be her Saturday Night Live introduction. There you go.
That should be. I like to call, and call the police.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm 50. 50 years old.
So there you go. What a story. Carla Jefferson there.
Amazing.
Yep.
50-year-old from Florida. That is a magic combination.
Yep. That had all the avenues, I think. That was just, for my soundboard, it had all the avenues as far as I'm concerned.
Is that how you rate news stories internally? Is like how frequently the soundboard can be used?
how many sound clips can I drop in on this? Yeah, that's what matters.
That's a good metric.
Yep. But there you go. That was the non-fortune cookie odd news, and with that, we got to start wrapping this episode up. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode and supporting us every week. However you listen to us, whether it is YouTube, Facebook, or Spotify, it makes the difference, especially as we are going to video here. And hey, now I can actually show police reports.
That's right.
So
that's awesome.
Yep, there you go. So that's what we have the ability to do now. So once again, if you happen to just stumble across our podcast, make sure you go the full way and you subscribe to us, whether that is on YouTube, whether that is on our Facebook page, or on our Spotify account. Make sure you subscribe so that you get the episode every Wednesday night. And you can watch us or you can listen to us in the background, however you like to consume our podcast.
That's right. So many ways to watch the Crispy Noodle podcast, but if you want to get in touch with us individually, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on Twitter. And like Rob did, send us a link if there's a topic you want us to talk about. If there's something you want to counter us on, let us know, and we'll do a little fan segment. Or if there's an odd news story, send it our way, and we'll give you a sausage shout-out for letting us comment on your suggestion and for being a part of our show. So it really does make the difference. Make sure to send it our way if you do have a suggestion. Yeah, there you go. That's our show. The very best in sports, entertainment, and odd news, and whatever else we find very interesting that we want to fit into an hour or hour and a half podcast. Because, yeah, we went a little bit over here. But, hey, it was worth it.
But it was fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of news to get to, especially in sports, so it was well worth the time. Thank you guys for supporting us here at the Crispy Noodle. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. You got anything else, Mike?
No, that's it.
All right, then that will wrap it up for us. We'll see you guys next week for another crazy episode of the Crispy Noodle podcast.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.